Hello, welcome here. My name is Michaela. I'm a wife, a mom, and a knitter from British Columbia, Canada, and this is Galanthus Knits. Hi, welcome back. I have not posted a video for a little while and the summer has just run away from me a little bit. I just came back, well, just 2 weeks ago came back from a trip to China to visit my husband's extended family. And then we've just been battling a little bit of sickness ever since. You may still be able to hear it in my voice. It's lingering a little bit for all three of us, so that's been tough, but we're back and we're carrying on. I did film a few clips for you, one while I was in China and then one when we got back to talk about the project that I had been working on while I was away. So I will show those in a little bit. Before we get to that, I just wanted to say that I received a comment on, I think it was my last video, and someone had said that I should be a little bit more mindful about not covering my mouth while I'm speaking, so that anyone who is needing to read lips can do that still. And I am going to be mindful about it from now on, but the two clips that I did take prior to reading that comment, I did notice that I covered my mouth a few times, so I apologize for that, and it's on my mind now to be a bit better about that, so thank you for letting me know. I'm filming this segment of the video on the 15th of July, and hopefully I can get it edited and out quite soon. There are a few things that I wanted to talk about in this video, some projects that I've been working on, and then Flock Fiber Festival, which is coming up in less than a month now, and I'm going to be attending, so that's exciting. The other thing is that I'm filming on my phone today rather than on my camera, just because I didn't bring my camera with me to China. So the clip that I took while I was there was on my phone, and I just wanted it to be a little bit more consistent within a video for it to kind of look similar or have a similar quality of filming. So I just decided to do the whole thing on my phone. Hopefully that's okay, and it doesn't look horribly different than what it normally looks like, but we're experimenting. I'm still very new to this, so yeah, there we go. Hello, good morning. I am in Shanghai, China right now. I'm a little bit sick, as you may be able to tell from my voice. I've been sick almost the entire trip, and it's we just have a couple of days left, so hopefully I can heal before the big long flight back home, because yeah, it's a 12-hour flight and I have a almost 1-year-old to keep occupied during the flight. So anyway, I just wanted to update you on what I've been knitting while we've been on this trip. So this is the Arden cardigan by Little Fig Handmade, I think is the name of the pattern designer, or what she goes by. It's a bottom-up cardigan for a child. I'm kind of doing a half and half size thing, and I've done this before. I actually casted this on before we left for China, just so that I could have the cast on finished, and I could just work on the ribbing and things, and I didn't have to count. But when I cast it on and I did a couple of rows, I realized that it was very long, and I'm knitting the size 1 to 2 year for my daughter, so she can wear it. She's about to turn 1, so she can wear it like over the winter. It's summer now. And it was like extremely long, so I measured it and it came to be 70 centimeters on the bottom, this long. Anyway, and that's without the button bands that's going to be added later. So I thought that was way too long. I compared it to some sweaters that some cardigans that fit her now at 11 months, and it just seemed way too big. So what I've decided to do is actually follow the size down. Yeah, so I'm following the numbers for the size 6 to 12 months, but I'm going to follow the length for the 1 to 2 years, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if my child is a little bit smaller than normal children, maybe she is, but it just seemed ridiculous. So this sweater is still significantly bigger than the sweaters that fit her currently, but it only measures 53 centimeters without the button bands that will add to that circumference. So I think this will work out. So I'm following the numbers for the 6 to 12 months, but I'm gonna follow the length of the sweater for the 1 to 2 years, and hopefully that will work out to fit her well in the winter time. The only thing is, I am using yarn that I have previously used and frogged. It was my Stockholm slipover by PetiteKnit, and I just realized I didn't really like wearing slipovers. After I knitted it, I never wore it. I wore it maybe once. I run quite warm, so I'm never really cold enough to wear a slipover, and if I'm cold, then I'll just wear a cardigan or something like that. So I think this is drops Lima, and I bought this yarn when I was in Norway, in the Lofoten Islands in Norway, in a little knitting shop in Henningsvær. And yeah, I am very happy to reclaim this wool and use it for something that will actually get worn rather than the Stockholm slipover, which I would never wear. So I am knitting my daughter the Arden cardigan. My hiccup is that I have 4 balls of this yarn. I have already used, as you can see from the back where I joined, I've already used 1 and maybe a half, or 1 and a third maybe. This basket stitch pattern, that's what she calls it in the pattern notes, it has a lot of slip stitches in it. So it's a couple rows of garter and then a couple rows of like a slip stitch thing. It's using a lot of yarn, so I didn't anticipate to be playing yarn chicken on this project, but I think I might be. It's making me a little bit nervous, and I've worked on this for the past 2 weeks whilst I've been in China. So I really hope that I have enough yarn to actually finish the project, because I don't want to have to rip back and get rid of all the progress that I've done on this trip, because I enjoy trip knitting, because then the final product reminds me of the trips. So it would really be unfortunate to rip back when I've already done that with this yarn. So I'm going to continue it. I'm sure I will update you later on once I'm back in Canada. But yeah, I have all 4 balls with me here in China, just in case I get quite far. But I've got this much left of my second ball, and I think I still have maybe 5 centimeters that I need to knit before I can break off for the sleeves. So I might actually end up using 2 full balls for just the bottom of the cardigan, which I'm not sure if 2 skeins will be enough to do the sleeves and then also the yoke and the button bands. So yeah, I think I'm playing yarn chicken. I don't want to believe that I am, but I think I am. So I'll update you later, but this is my update on what is today? June 27th, I think it's the 27th of June, and I'm in Shanghai, China. I will update you once I'm back in Canada, which I'm leaving in like 3 days. So, okay, bye. Hello. I'm back home from China. I've been back about a week. Jet lag has been pretty awful with our daughter. She still hasn't adjusted to the time at all back home, but we're surviving. We're doing the best we can. I'm sitting outside. It's really hot today. It was like 33 degrees, I want to say, but it's 8 p.m. now, so the temperature is not as severe as it was earlier. There are 3 little rabbits in the yard over there. I've been watching them for a little while I've been working on the Arden cardigan. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on how that's going. Also, sorry if you hear traffic in the background. The road is just there, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me. So this is the progress on the body that I made mostly while in China. This is the back, and then I'll be connecting them together and making the button bands later. So the sleeves are knit up separately. Here's the first of 2 sleeves. I'm I've still got quite a few centimeters to go before I'm actually finished it. But my yarn chicken update. This is all the yarn I have left, and I still have to do the neck ribbing, the button plackets, and the second sleeve. So we're not going to make it. I was indeed playing yarn chicken and I lost the game. It's kind of sad, and I did consider ripping it up and using the yarn for something else, but I've put a lot of progress into this cardigan, and it's been kind of a slow going project for a baby knit, just because of the way that the stitches are. So I think I'm just going to order another skein. I'm not too concerned about dye lot because it's a white. I bought these skeins in northern Norway back in 2022, and obviously I'm not going back there anytime soon, so I'm gonna order from Beehive Wool Shop in Victoria. I've ordered from them before, and I've always been happy with like the delivery time and what they charge for shipping and things like that, and they have a really wide variety of yarns there. My local yarn shop does not carry Lima, Drops Lima, which I'm using for this cardigan. So sadly, I'm gonna have to order online, but that's okay. I still want to finish it, and I'm just gonna go with another skein. The rabbits are jumping around over there. It's really funny. Last year they ate a lot of my herbs from the veggie garden, but this year they haven't really touched too many things, and I'm glad of that. Okay, now that you're back, it's the 15th of July again, and yeah, I have some updates. As you saw, I did lose the game of yarn chicken for the Arden cardigan. I have it in this bag, and it doesn't look that much different than it did in the last clip. There's my sleeve. This is basically what I have left of yarn. I think I have a little bit left in the bag as well, but definitely not enough to finish the project. So I've placed an order with Beehive Wool Shop in Victoria, and my order is on the way. It is expensive shipping things in Canada, even within Canada, so I did have to pay $13 for shipping. So I threw in a couple more things into my basket because I thought if I was gonna pay for shipping anyway, because it doesn't matter how much you buy from them, and the shipping is going to be $13, I think, unless it's over a certain price. Anyway, so I threw in some Knitting for Olive merino, which I have never used before. I've actually never knitted with Knitting for Olive wool at all, or yarn at all. I've knitted two of their patterns before, the Clover Tights and the Baby Bear Bonnet, I think is what they're called. And I really enjoyed knitting those patterns, but I've never knitted with Knitting for Olive yarn. So I'm excited. I bought 2 skeins, so just enough for like a small project, maybe a baby knit or something like that, in the color Dusty Honey, which was just completely speaking to me. I love yellows, I love warm colors and earthy colors, and yeah, I think that was really speaking to me for summer. I'm not really much of a summer knit person, as in like I don't make camisoles or tank tops or things like that. I've never done that before. I've always just knitted my winter knits during the summer, but I think I might try it out. We'll see. I don't know. I'm trying it out a little bit now, which I'll talk about in a second. But that's my update on the Arden cardigan. The yarn is in the mail. So yeah, by next time you see me, hopefully it will be finished. But we'll see how quickly I can knit it up. I was hoping to have it finished by my daughter's first birthday, but that is this coming week, so I don't think that I'm gonna have that finished for that. That's okay. It's not like she knows, and she won't be able to wear it anyways because it's 30 degrees out every day. So the second thing that I would like to show you is a small project that I started right before I left for China, and I haven't worked on it since I came back, but I'll still show you what it is. So this is the Shortcut to Mushroom sock by Anna. Oh, what's her last name? I think it's like Sjösvärd or something like that. I will put it down here as usual. Her first name is Anna, and I followed her on Instagram for a long time, but haven't knitted any of her patterns before. I say this is her pattern, but it's kind of not really, because, well, it is. I'll explain. The sock is meant to be toe up, and I just really didn't want to start with the boring bit first. I really wanted to do the color work at the beginning. So I read the pattern, I kind of reversed it in my mind, and I took some notes and stuff, and then I started top down, which is what I prefer for a sock. So yes, it is her pattern. It's the number that she, like, I'm following her numbers, I'm following her chart, I'm following everything, but I'm just doing it all backwards. So yeah, and I am happy that I did that because it was fun, like, to do that bit first, and then I have a little bit more motivation to finish the sock, whereas if I had started from the toe and I hadn't seen any of the fun stuff, I don't think I would have worked on it. Yeah, so I'm knitting it for a friend who lives in the UK. I'm gonna mail it to her. Hopefully, she's having a baby in November, so I'm hoping to be able to send her some baby knits as well as a pair of socks for herself. So I'm gonna have to try to finish all of the things that I want to send to her by probably mid-October to send off. So that's that. I highly recommend the pattern. It's beautiful. Her patterns are so beautiful. Her Instagram feed is beautiful. I love everything that she does. But this is the very first one that I've ever taken on myself, and I'm doing it the wrong way around, but that's okay. I'll still have the same result. Okay, a few other projects that I want to update you on. I started something new, and then there's two that I'm still working on. So I'll start with the new one. Like I said before, I'm not really a summer knit type person, but I really wanted to wear a hand knit to a flock fiber festival because I feel like if I don't, I'll just feel left out. So I might wear my Romanticist bandana, which I featured in the last episode, which would be nice, but it would be nice to actually wear like a garment. So I am knitting the Corran cardigan by Rebecca Clow from the CreaBea. And this is a popular cardigan that came out spring 2023, I think, in April. And a lot of people that I follow had either test knitted for her or knitted it afterwards and really liked the result. So it's been in my like to knit list for a while. I just didn't know when I was going to get around to doing it. It is bottom up, which I'm not super loving, but I like the way that it's working up anyways, and I like the finished product, and I think it's a fun kind of like challenging, not super challenging per se, but just something a bit different for me to do and hopefully have finished by the time I go to the festival. So I knitted 2 swatches because I couldn't decide which yarn that I wanted to use. I was knitting from Stash, so I'll show you my 2 swatches. This one is in a Rowan cotton yarn. The needle size that she uses is 5 millimeter, 4 millimeter, and then 5 for the rest of the body. It's a lace pattern, but it kind of looks like mesh. It's done in a 4-row repeat with knit 2 togethers and yarn overs in different ways. This is the second swatch that I knitted up. This is in a wool. So I couldn't decide if I wanted cotton or wool. I don't really like knitting with cotton too much, but I have it in my stash, so I kind of wanted to use it. So there's the difference between the two. Let me grab the label for the wool because it was kind of a niche wool that I bought. Okay, this is the label. It's called Dye Bath. It's because it's hand dyed in Bath, England. I bought this at a wool shop in Bath called Wool. It's just wool, period. And it was kind of a funny story because it was when we were still living in the UK and we took a trip down to Devon. We were living in Cheshire and we took a trip down to Devon for a wedding, and we stopped in Bath on the way back. And we showed up at our Airbnb, and the host was telling us that his daughter owns a knit shop in the center of Bath, and that he called her a crazy knitter. He was like, she's always knitting in the car, like if she's a passenger, she's always knitting everywhere she goes, she's always got a project with her. Oh, this crazy knitter. And I was like sheepishly stuffing my knitting project into my bag while he was telling me this, and I was like, oh, what's her shop called? So anyways, we showed up, and she was very, very kind. I said that I was staying at her parents' Airbnb, and she thought that was amazing. So I bought this yarn from her, and then she also gave me like a mini skein for free, which I still haven't used, like as a gift. So I'm saving that. But this is one of those yarns that I feel like has been in my stash for forever. It's been there for 3 years. So I took that trip in 2021. And I haven't found the perfect project for the special skein yet, you know what I mean? Like, it's just there, and sometimes like I've started knitting things up with it, and then I've been like, no, it's not special enough for this special skein, and then I've just decided I need to use it because I'm just gonna save it forever for something super special, and that super special thing will never come. So anyway, I have 4 skeins of this yarn that I bought from her. It is Deli Tweed Arden, so 85% merino and then 15% Donegal Nips, which is that an Irish brand of sheep? I'm not sure, I haven't looked that up, but the colorway is Nutmeg. Yeah, and it's hand dyed. She dyed it herself, which she told me that it was in Bath that she had dyed it, so that's fun. So out of the 2, for the Corran cardigan, I actually did decide to go with the wool, just because I like knitting on wool a lot better than cotton, especially in the summertime, because cotton gets all gross with your hands, and I like the color of it. So I started this 2 days ago. Here's my ball hand wound because I don't have a Swift and a winder. Here we go. So it's bottom up. There's 6 centimeters of ribbing before you start the mesh pattern. So I started the mesh yesterday. The Corran cardigan actually comes with a few different variations that you can do. Like, the pattern shows you different ways that you can knit the cardigan. So you can do short sleeve, long sleeve, and then round neck or V-neck. So I'm definitely doing short sleeve because it's going to be a summer thing that I want to wear to flock. But I haven't decided yet if I want to do round or V-neck. I can decide that later, which actually is a benefit of the bottom up construction. I would have to make that decision right away if it was top down. So yeah, I haven't decided yet if you have any experience knitting the Corran, or if you think that I would suit one neckline or the other. I don't know. Right now I'm wearing a V-neck, but I don't always. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the Corran cardigan. Hopefully I'll have it finished by the time I go, and that it won't be like horribly, horribly hot, that I won't want to wear the cardigan to the festival. I am going there on the Friday and the Saturday. I have a class booked on the Friday, and then the Saturday is like the market day. So I'm really excited to go. Okay, 2 more project updates. My Selma sleep suit is continuing. I think this may be the 3rd episode that I've featured it in. It's too big for the camera. Yeah, I'm almost finished actually. So I have to sew it all up, obviously, and I'm nearly finished one of the sleeves. I still have the other sleeve to go, but I finished the legs, apart from sewing it up and adding the buttons. So most of the knitting is done. So that's exciting. This is one of the baby knits for my friend who's having a baby in November. So I'm gonna add yellow buttons, I think, to this, and then I'm hoping to knit a little yellow bonnet to kind of like go underneath and have a bit of color underneath the gray. So that's exciting that that's almost finished. I've been working on it, I think, since the end of April, but just slowly here and there. And then the other project that I have to update you on is my husband's Tundra jumper, which, you know, if you've seen my previous videos, has kind of been a lingering cloud of gloom over my knitting world. So it's just been one of those projects that has been a bit of a slog, and yeah, because I didn't get to do the fun bit first, wasn't motivated to finish. So anyway, look what I started on, the color work. Okay. So I finished both the sleeves and attached them and started the color work section. Yay! So, this is what it looks like so far. Oops. There's all sorts of threads hanging off of it because of all the different wools that I'm using, all the different colors. So, I haven't worked on it since I came back from China, just because it's been in the 30s the entire time we've been back. So it's just too hot to knit on something this big, have like something big on my lap that's really heavy and woolly and kind of itchy in this weather. So yeah, it's hibernating a little bit again, but now my goal is to not make it a year-long project. So I started this project on October 9th last year, and I would like to have it finished before October 9th this year so that I can not say that it took me over a year to finish a project, because that's never happened before and I hope it never will. Simply because I just don't like the mental space that it takes up in my knitting brain of, you know, I like to have kind of a clean slate, finish projects, start new projects, finish projects. I don't like these ongoing projects that are, oh, work on it here and there in the background and not have a clear deadline or a clear end in sight. I find it's honestly too mentally taxing, and I don't know why that is. It's a silly thing, but it is just how my brain works. So yeah, before October 9th is our ultimate goal. And I've said this in previous videos, but I'm just using drops merino, heavy merino for the main color, and then for the color work, it's a Lopi yarn, Let Lopi. So yeah, and my husband chose a few different colors. He chose all his colors. And I did warn him that some of the colors he chose didn't have enough variation between them, that it wouldn't show up as prominently. And he said he didn't mind. He still wanted the colors that he wanted. So as you can see, maybe you can't see because this is the issue. The main color is a gray, and then one of his contrast colors, which is here, is a green. It's a dark green, and it doesn't really show up very well, especially on camera, but it's what he wants, so I'm doing it. A modification that I did make was that I didn't do the color work on the sleeve cuff. That's what the pattern calls for, but he didn't want that because he didn't want it to be itchy around his wrists. All the other places where the color work is, hopefully a shirt underneath will be kind of a barrier between him and the itchy yarn, but he didn't want it on the cuffs, so I didn't do that. So that's the only modification that I've made to the pattern so far. And I'm really encouraged about the progress that I've made. And thank you to everyone who's encouraged me to continue working on it. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you before I sign off is this little pattern booklet that I got at the thrift store. I'm always looking for yarn and pattern books at the thrift store because most of the time it's not stuff that I would use, but every once in a while you get something that you're like, oh, okay, that's actually really nice. Preschool fashion. I don't know from when this book is from. It doesn't have a date on it, but it's a Canadian publication by Beehive. I don't know this brand or this company. I don't know if they're still in existence or not. But the thing about these vintage patterns is a lot of them, they're the same as modern ones that we have, or very similar. They're just styled differently. So you look at this and you're like, oh, that's dated. But it's not. Like, okay, first of all, this little girl's face is cracking me up. But this style of cardigan, like I have a Senna's Garn pattern booklet and it has a cardigan very similar to this. So, and Senna's Garn is like crazy popular in the knitting world. So like it looks like this one, but this cardigan comes with modifications as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm not sure when this is from. If anyone knows when Beehive was printing pattern booklets, what era does this look? 60s? I feel like it looks 60s, but I'm not totally sure. Anyway, yeah, that's exciting. I'm not sure if the language of knitting has changed a bit in that time. I do have a few other vintage pattern booklets, but I haven't used any of them yet. So it will be interesting to see if like the language of knitting has changed a little bit over time. But yeah, that's really exciting. You can see the original price was $250 and the price they charged me at the thrift store was $250. But, you know, times have changed and prices have gone up. So we're paying the same price, but in reality, we're paying a lot less. So look at this whole fit. Oh, it's so cool. I love this. Anyway, yeah, so that was my only recent knitting purchase other than the yarn that I ordered from Beehive Wool Shop. And it hasn't come in yet, so I can't show you, which is fine. But, oh, I was gonna say that while I'm traveling, I usually like to visit any like knitting shops or, yeah, knitting related places on my travels, just to see how different countries do it and different wools and different patterns and things like that. But I had asked my husband if he could look to see if there was any knitting shops in the towns and cities in China that we were in, and because we went to 3 different cities, but he couldn't find anything whatsoever. And then he asked his parents about it, and his parents had said that in China, especially in the cities, knitting just isn't something that is considered like a good thing to do. Like it's not a hobby. They consider it, the way that they understand it is that it's considered to be something out of necessity, not out of fun. And so people who live in the types of cities and towns that we visited wouldn't be knitting because they were a little bit more well off than some of the other places around the country. So yeah, so that was kind of sad to me because I would have loved to see if there was any like different brands of wool that I've never seen, like from different parts of Asia that maybe they would offer. I have seen a couple Japanese yarn brands in a shop in Squamish last year, but I haven't encountered any Chinese brands, but that kind of explains why that is. But it was a little bit sad to me because I was hoping to peruse a Chinese knitting shop, but apparently they don't exist, or if they do, not in the areas that we were in, or I don't know, but we weren't able to find any. So yeah, kind of sad, but anyway, that's how it is. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. As always, here's my Instagram handle. If you would like to follow me, it's not all knitting content, it's just life content, and it's sporadic, but I enjoy it anyhow. Thank you so much for listening to what I have to talk about and for connecting with me, and thank you for leaving lovely comments and suggestions, and everyone has been so kind so far. This is a learning curve to try to put out videos and make them interesting, but also just be real as well. So thank you so much for everyone who's given me some encouragement and some kind words. It's really appreciated. And if you're going to Flock Fiber Festival, please let me know, because I don't have that many people that I know in person that knit, like in real life. So if I could meet anybody and, I don't know, make a friendship here and there from someone who lives somewhat nearby to me, then that would be really cool. So let me know if you're going. And yeah, hopefully there won't be as much of a break between this video and my next video. But thank you again for hanging in here. Okay, bye.